Go.
Streaming from South Africa to the world. This is the Stonks Go Moon podcast. What just happened? We break it down so you don't have to.
Welcome everyone to the Stonks Go Moon podcast. My guest today, Yoni Tzafrir. He is the founder and CEO of Newsly. Yoni, how are you?
I'm fine. Glad to be here.
You are a fascinating person in the sense that you've been in tech for a very, very long time. 2 decades, am I right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I started more than 2 decades ago, which gives away a little bit my age. My first job in tech was actually after high school. So I applied to a summer job as a technician, like configuring router, like networking routers for an ISP. Back then, you look young, but back then, the technological leap was from.
What year is this? What year is this? Roughly.
Should I say or?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, it's 1999.
Okay, so just before Y2K.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember the Y2K.
and I mean, from there straight on, just like involved in the tech industry, how many startups have you been involved in?
So this is the first startup that I'm, the entrepreneur there and the founder.
So basically, okay, so that's kind of cool. So you've spent all this time in tech, basically, like around people in the industry, and then one day you decide, well, fuck it, I'm just going to do this now. How did that come about? Where can you remember where you were? How did you conceive it? Like, you know what I mean? What was that process like for you?
Yeah. So, you can't really pinpoint, one point in the past and say it started there, because I played around with the idea for a long time, the idea of being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
But until I had the idea of Newsly, it didn't came to be because I didn't have enough drive to do it.
Yes.
And I came here with my wife and my daughters to Canada as a newcomer in end of 2019. And about that time, I started looking about like text-to-speech technology, and I was amazed by the level that it got and how natural it sounds. And I was commuting somewhere, and I wanted like to consume something, and like I didn't want to like listen to local radio, and I wanted to improve my English, which is my second language. But I wanted to, I didn't want to listen to local politics, which I knew nothing about.
Yeah, you see, you hit the nail on the head there, because we actually linguistically, we learn through our mothers speaking to us. So when your mother, that repetitive nature of the word, people think we learn to speak like through reading, through going A, B, C, D. It's not. It's our mothers and the way that linguistic and that tonality hits our ear, and that forms, our vocabulary. So what you're saying is so true. We learn more through listening to a language. So if you want to learn a new language, let's say English is your second or third language, you actually need to listen to it and not actually read it.
Right. And then I thought to myself, what? But I'm already challenging myself, right, with the second language, but like why challenge it with myself with the topics? Like, let's listen to topics that I care about, right?
Yes.
And then I said, okay, let's just download that app that just gathers whatever I define, and like pissing off from the web, like, fresh from the web, the most trending ones about those topics. And just read it to me.
Yeah.
And then
It's like a
I
news,
did,
like a news aggregator, right?
yeah, but like personalized audio
Ah,
news aggregator,
okay,
right?
cool.
And
Yes.
I didn't find anything like it. I mean, there was like solutions either with bad text to speech or not, but something that just identifies whatever is trending on the topic you define and picks it for you without you need to like save articles or things like that. Like you just defined in advance like what are your topics, bring it to you, and then you can just start listening.
Yes.
So I didn't find any solution like that. And
And then
then
that must have been a bit of an aha moment, or a bit of a, because as entrepreneurs, we always like to, there's a double-edged sword. You have an idea, you go and look for something, you don't find it. The first part is, oh yay, no one's done this before. The second part is, oh no one's done this before.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I pitched it to few people, and then yeah, the best response, by the way, that I got from people is, what, isn't that exist already, or like that's the best thing you can get. And then yeah, but I still didn't do a lot with it.
Yes.
Until a point that I spoke with a friend, which she's dyslexic, and she told me, you know what, that could be such a good solution for people like me and a lot of people with learning disabilities, and then I said, you know what, yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. And I did some more survey, and then I discovered it's like for both worlds. It's also for people with learning disabilities, but also for people with just looking for personalized topical audio content,
Yeah.
which they don't have, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, then start developing it, and after a month and a half, we had a prototype working. It was working. Can I say shitty on your podcast? Or?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. This is an aggressively mediocre podcast. I doubt even no one's listening. You can do whatever you want. Listen, I want to talk to you about that process, because you are fresh through that process of having an idea, pitching. What were the two hardest parts or to go through? Like, so let's say someone's sitting here or listening, or preferably listening through the Newsly app, I must add. And they said, I have an idea. And okay, so cool. How do I get to this? How do I get to the part where I have something, tangible? What was the two hardest things for you that you had to go through?
The hardest thing I had to go through is there are a few hard things, like finding right people to build a product and market it. Like, it's super competitive.
Yeah. Sorry, where did you find those people, if I might ask? Is that something you can talk about?
Yeah, I found him here, either where I'm located in Vancouver, Canada, or
yeah, but it's
Canada.
not like in a telephone book. It's or like a, I mean, what I mean, it's like, it's a, like, how do you, because you don't know who you can trust at that stage. You don't know.
Right. Right. So I actually started with students, and so they come for a co-op for a semester or something like that. That's the way it works here.
Okay.
And then or with graduates, and then you have like, it's good because you have like more than one interview to get familiar and know how much they're worth, or how much they're committed, and
yes,
how much good job they can do, and you can like hire them later.
Okay. That makes complete sense. So the one big problem is always people. What's the other one? There's multiple, but if you had to pick one, what would the other one be?
Yeah, I guess getting the word out for Newsly. So I mean, it is happening. I mean,
Yes.
we're constantly growing, but
It's very noisy. Yeah, it's very noisy. There's like everyone is shouting and sort of cutting through the noise and trying to find that market niche. It's just funny for me that you didn't say money, right? Or finance, because that's the one that I sort of always expecting.
Yeah, it's the hard part now, right? So
Yes.
right now, you know, until now we somehow bootstrapped, you know, either from money coming from my pocket or some grants that they have here for tech and, you know, students, graduates, etc.
Yes.
But right now we're at the state that we're, you know, we've finished kindergarten, and now we're ready for school, and now it's where the big boys play, and now we need like the investment to accelerate. I mean, we can probably keep on forever because it seems that we have markets in it and growth, but in order to be like a real tech business,
Yes.
you need to accelerate and have like a good investment. But I think we're on the right track.
So there's a big debate these days about streaming on demand versus on schedule, right? So this is where LinkedIn's bringing beta, their audio beta. You have products like Clubhouse versus like on demand, which would be Netflix, I suppose. Where do you see Newsly fitting into this game currently, or this offerings that are being played?
Right. So I think there's not going to be a winner from on demand versus scheduled, but Newsly going to offer both of them very soon. And on top of it, the other question, the missing part of it is the both topical and personalized on demand, which no one does. So we'll have the podcast on the app, which is the personalized part.
Yes.
But it's not topical, right?
Yes.
It's not what's happening right now.
Yes.
We'll have the radio, which is topical, but it's not really personalized, right? You don't control what's on the radio right now, either FM radio or digital radio, but we'll have both. But on top of it, you'll have your own personalized topical newscaster. So let's say you want to follow topics like that interest you in life, like let's say it's DeFi contracts over Ethereum, and the Kardashians. Let's say that's your
weird mixture.
yeah. Let's say there's those two things you're passionate about in life.
Okay.
And you can get them at any moment. Yeah, it scans the web and brings you the most topical about those two topics. So you know.
So basically, it's the best of both worlds. That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Actually, it's three worlds, right? So it's personalized, it's scheduled, and it's topical personalized.
Wow. Yeah, that's taking it to a new level. This mediocre podcast will do everything in its power to push you and Newsly to the moon. Yonis, thank you so much for joining me today. If the listeners want to find out more about you or the company, obviously we'll link it in the socials, but where can they do that?
Yeah, so first of all, if there are podcasters, we have a very special program that we promote podcasts on our platform. So just go to our website, newsly.me, and then newsly.me, that's ME. And then there's like a podcast feature, fill out, you know, like a few details. And then if podcast fits our platform, we're gonna feature you. There's no cost for it. So that's one thing, you can contact us and also like benefit from it. Yeah, if you want to reach me, and you can do it through social or LinkedIn.
Go find him on LinkedIn. That's the best place. That's where I find him anyways.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me. To our listeners, peace, love, and prosperity. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.